Hello, and welcome to Tenderhearted, the podcast for those who struggle with being extra sensitive in a less than sensitive world. I am your host, Amy Kelso. I'm a writer, speaker, teacher, and advocate for anyone who is tenderhearted or cares about someone who is. So, what I'd like to do today is just talk, first of all, about what is a tender heart. So, a tender heart is somebody who has a tender heart, right? Somebody who feels more than others. So let's talk a little bit about feeling. So there is a book out written by Elaine Aron called The Highly Sensitive Person. In the book, which came out in 1996, so it's been out for a little while, in the book she talks about how about 20% of the population are more sensitive to stimulus than everyone else. And she explains why that is. And it's a really good book. Definitely recommend you read it if you think you might be highly sensitive or if you think you know someone who is. So a tender heart would fit into the category of a highly sensitive person. But one of the things in there she talks about highly sensitive might be you're just really good at hearing sounds, or light is very sensitive to you, which could be true also for a tender heart. But for me, the tender heart is somebody who is sensitive on an emotional level as well as other ways as well. So they may be somebody who, maybe they do notice a lot of what they see, but one of the things that they really notice is people, how people interact, what they say, what they don't say, their body language, a lot of those things. They are much more aware of the emotional, what's emotionally going on with the people around them. This is a wonderful trait. It allows a tender heart to be much more caring, considerate, to help others feel at ease. There's many great things with being a tender heart. There are also many disadvantages of being a tender heart, especially in the world we live in today, where sensitivity is considered a bad thing, right? When you hear people say, oh, you're too sensitive. I don't think that there's such a thing as too sensitive, but I know that our society often might make you feel like something's wrong with you for being sensitive. What I want to do in this podcast is talk about the wonderful things about being a tender heart. I want to also discuss some of the disadvantages, the difficulties that we face, again, particularly in the world we live in today, how to overcome those or how to at least deal with those situations. I want to talk about what do you do if you're a tender heart? What do you do if you care about somebody else who is a tender heart, whether it's a child of yours or your spouse or brother or sister, a friend, anybody? How can you help to support them and help them to become the best they can be? So that is kind of the idea behind the podcast. I hope to have guests come in. I'd love to talk with people who maybe are working with, how do I work with my tenderhearted child? She, keeps crying every day when she gets home from school. What can we do about that? So things like that we can talk about. I'd love to talk about, personally, like, what are you struggling with? What do you want to do? So I want to have a lot of guests in talking about their own struggles with being a tender heart and work through how you can help with that. Also, just share a lot of what's going on with me. I am a self-proclaimed tender heart. I have been all my life. And as I said, there's wonderful things about being a tender heart. There's also some struggles. So I do want to be able to kind of share some of that with you as well. So the idea is that we will have Tenderhearted Tuesdays. So every Tuesday, I will try to post something on the podcast, whether it's just me talking about some information about being a tender heart, whether I'm having an interview with someone, or anything like that. So today we are going to start out. Today is the first Tuesday of Tenderhearted Tuesdays, and it is, of course, December 31st, which means it is the very last day of 2024. 2024 has been quite a year for me. We can get into a lot of that later, but it's been a very busy year. I've been doing a lot of inner healing, and I want to share some of that, but I'm also really looking forward to 2025. Got some goals of mine, some things I'm working towards, and one of those goals is to create a podcast and start doing it every week. So this is the first one. This is my New Year's resolution, so to speak, is to do these podcasts. And so here I am doing it. And I will be back again next Tuesday to tell you more information about being a tender heart. So if you're interested, please like and subscribe. And I hope to hear from you and deal with some of your questions as well. Have a wonderful day. Have a great new year. And I'll see you back in 2025.